Cycle Specialties Performance, that's us.
Okay, so let the audience know. I'm sure some people, when they watch it, they will know who you are, but who are you?
MOORE Mafia, Cycle Specialties Performance. So we've been in the motorcycle business a long time, just as I guess you'd say, a performance motorcycle dealership. And we've always had the MOORE Mafia race team, but we set a few records, we did a few big things, and man, did it really start to blow up. And now we get to play with brand new Hayabusas, brand new GSX-R 1000s, a lot of brand new toys every single day. We make a lot of these things super fast. We've made a lot of record holders. We've got the world's fastest no wheelie bar motorcycle. We've been a 630 at 233 miles per hour. So we take a lot of the knowledge that we learned from the racetrack, we apply that to the street, and we've built a lot of successful street machines.
Okay, now how long have you been racing?
So me, myself, I started when I was 12 years old. I'm 37 now. I know, that's old. Anyways, 25 years drag racing experience. And like I said, I started at the bottom, like a lot of, I guess you would say normal guys, or guys that are thinking about getting into it. Yeah, I just went to the racetrack with my dad as a kid. I watched. I wanted to do it. I got out there, I practiced, worked, built my skill set. I got a little faster. Next thing you know, I'm the world record holder.
Now, does your dad race also?
My dad raced cars as a kid growing up. He still has race cars now. But anyways, he never raced motorcycles. Always going to the track as a kid. He had race cars. I was like, Dad, I want a drag bike. And here we are.
All right, now, do you have any kids?
I do not have any kids. I have 2 dogs, Pablo and Ralphie.
Okay, if you did have a boy or a girl, doesn't matter, would you let them also race like you race?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. For sure. My mom, she's the most scared to death woman you'll ever meet. I think that's because me, my dad, and my brother, we all have tortured her whole life, or our whole lives anyways. We're all very rambunctious and wide open and wild. And if I had a kid, yeah, you'd definitely have to be the same way.
There you go. Okay, so now, have you noticed more sales in the Hayabusas since you've kind of put yours together? Because I basically have copied off of you.
Yeah, for sure. So we have done a lot of the Chris Moore specials, we call them.
Okay.
You know, a lot of them have come in and they're like, hey, I want the Zang swing arm you have, the same exhaust, or maybe they want a different exhaust. You know what I mean? And that doesn't matter, whatever you want. The good thing is we've done so many variations. We've been able to show those and showcase them on our YouTube channel, and customers are able to see kind of what they're going to spend their money on before they actually spend it.
Okay. All right. Now, when your objective on these dynos, of course, is to get more horsepower, correct? Or is it more customer specific, like I want this, or do you suggest to them, say, well, maybe you should go this route?
So when it comes to tuning, there really is no, I'm going to use the bike for this, or I'm going to use the bike for that kind of tune. So when we go in and tune these things, we tune everything from idle to redline and everything in between. So we tune it at 20% throttle at 7,000 RPMs, 8,000 RPMs, 40% throttle, 3,000 RPM, you know, the whole range everywhere from end to end. The only thing that would make it really more specific for that customer versus another is if he was going to be using regular gasoline versus a racing gasoline. We've even set some up on E85, the ethanol fuel. So that would be the thing that we would cater to the customer specific, but our tunes, we tune that to the motorcycle. So if you've got this exhaust and this air filter and this set of velocity stacks, that's going to have a specific tune to those modifications. And if you had a different exhaust with different air filter and different velocity stacks, you're going to get a completely different tune.
Okay. You also do a drag racing school, correct?
I do offer a drag race school. We have between 4 to 5 schools a year here in South Carolina at a track called Greer Dragway. You bring your own bike and I supply you with the knowledge to make you faster on that motorcycle. No matter what skill set you have, whether you've been racing for 5 years or you've never raced a minute in your life, I'm still going to take you, mold you, teach you, to get you going in the right direction.
Now, have you ever had anybody come to your class like, you know what, you got to go because you're not listening? No, everybody, okay.
So far everybody has been listening, and the good thing with these bikes is you better listen because it'll hurt you. It's not necessarily whether I tell you right or wrong, but it's the fact that you have to listen because, like I said, you will get hurt on these things.
Yes. Okay. Now, if someone after taking your class and they said, man, I want to build me a drag bike. Have you had that happen? And if that has happened, what do you suggest like they start with?
Oh, for sure. So we've had, just for instance, last year, I had a guy come, he had a Hayabusa, Gen 2 Hayabusa, had been racing for about 3 or 4 months, had been riding for a couple of years before that, just on the street, but drag racing only a couple months. Now he's got a mid 4-second machine in the 1/8 mile, mid-low 7-second machine in the 1/4 mile, goes over 200 miles per hour in the 1/4 mile. Fast forward, rewind just, what, a year ago? He was trying to make his first ever, fully wide open pass on a Hayabusa. So now the guy has a 700 horsepower drag bike.
Whoa.
Now, not everybody is going to pick up on it that quick. Not everyone has the budget to go that fast. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of money to go extremely fast like that. But this guy did it. We molded him. We took him. He practiced. The main thing is he listens. And we were able to make a lot out of him.
Now, money-wise, number, average, to do what you just said.
So let's just say 20. Well, if you don't have a brand new bike, if you spend $6,000 on it, that'll take your average. Let's just say 08 GSX-R 1000. If you spend $5 or $6 grand on it, you can make it a really good running, competitive street/strip bike. I call it. In other words, you could ride it to lunch and to work. And then you could ride it to the drag strip, race it, be competitively fast, and then ride it back home. Now, a drag bike like what he has, you easily spend from $30,000 to $50,000. You know what I mean? It can get expensive. But if you think about it, he's got a 200 mile per hour motorcycle in the 1/4 mile for 50 grand. That's really not that bad. Go shopping at a new car lot and see what $50,000 gets you. When you look at it that way, it's really not that bad for how fast you can go.
Okay. Any suggestions for people who want to get into the sport bikes?
Find you just any sport bike to ride, and I tell people, a lot of people are like, oh, should I start on a 300 or something? Well, if you're big enough, physically strong enough to hold the bike up and to maneuver it, my opinion is you could start a little bigger. I would start out with something, a 600 is a good bike to start out with. Start out, and that's still a little on the smaller side, but start out with a 600, learn the ropes, learn the fundamentals, step up from there. The resale on these bikes, especially if you buy them pre-owned, is really well. So if you buy a bike for $5 grand, more than likely you can keep it 6 months to a year and probably still sell it for $5 grand. So it doesn't really cost that much to start small and work your way up. And then you could go to a 750 or a 1000 or a Hayabusa. None of them will go any faster than you make them go. The biggest thing with these things is you have to respect the motorcycle. They will hurt you, even if it's a 600. If you act crazy on it, it will hurt you crazy fast.
Okay, my last question, because we know you're a busy man. Whenever you're going down that drag strip, is there any fear going through those veins?
Absolutely not. The crazier they get, I love that stuff. So if you go back and watch some of my videos, you'll see where we had the GoPro mounted on the engine down by the front wheel. The bike actually wheelied one pass at 226 miles per hour. Now, not going 226 on the back wheel, we were going along perfectly straight, and the bike hit 226 miles an hour and started to pull the front tire off the ground. I sat the tire down at 230 miles per hour and absolutely loved it. When I got back, I was like, yo, that was the fucking best stuff. I mean, I enjoyed it so much. The crazier they get, sometimes is the most fun.
All right. Well, Chris, thank you for your time, really.
Yeah,
and listen, everybody, he's busy. He took the time out to speak and do this interview with me. And he's also going to do the base dyno on my new 22 Hayabusa. So once again, seriously, Chris, thank you. I'm not just saying that for the camera.
Hey, I enjoy helping you or talking with you. I enjoy helping you with the YouTube, and I'm really jealous that you got a better camera than I do. Like, what? This guy's new to YouTube, shows up with this jazzy camera, got the big fuzzy microphone. He's doing it up.
All right, thanks, Chris.
Yeah, man.